I think because Freddy is the thinking man's kind of boogeyman, and it's always, I think, maybe appealed to kids and, you know, people that are middle-aged that come up to me and say, that movie scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. It wasn't the blood flow, it was up here. It was because he talked and he spoke to you and he taunted you and he was sadistic about it, and that made him, you know, the seminal horror figure of the late 20th century. That's what made Freddy great.
Yeah, well, the first one was a game changer. The first one defined a genre, and you know, whether you like what that genre has become since or not, you cannot deny the effect that the original Nightmare had. I think original Nightmare is one of the great cinema experiences out there. I wasn't a big fan of how the franchise carried on, but I was and still am a huge fan of the original movie, and I think we've regained some of that ground, some of that credibility, and dug a little deeper, which is really what needs to happen. You need to dig a little deeper into what makes people monsters and why they frighten us. Now, I think audiences are far more sophisticated, and they need to understand more about why a character becomes a nightmare murderer. You know, it's just not enough to say he was, you know, some insane pedophile or whatever the hell he was. It's not enough anymore. You can't. People understand that everyone is born of women, and you know, there's a commonality, and it's sort of the choices that we make that turn us into a monster, or turn us into a parent, or turn us into a kid. You know, whatever it is, right?
So, yeah, being a part of Predators. I don't know how I keep being able to play these iconic characters, but I'm not complaining, and I'm extremely happy. One of my favorite movie quotes in general is in Predators 1 when Schwarzenegger and, oh my God, how am I losing?
Jesse Ventura.
No,
Carl Weathers.
Thank you. How about that for favorite quotes? When they meet for the first time, that cheesy, you know, oiled down, like, you son of a bitch. Love it. Love it. So cheesy, so awesome. It's like ironic love. I love it. I feel like I'm living out. I feel like a child running around pretending to be, you know, like, I'm pretending to be Jason, or I'm pretending to be a predator, and having Hollywood go, hey, why don't you do that for real? Like, what? Really? Are you kidding me? So I'm living a fan's dream. I'm a fan first and foremost, and I'm living the dream with his fans.
It's totally in my head, but the reality of it is that, you know, at the real hardcore base, it's really tough to compare. This is comparing apples and oranges, meaning that, you know, a lot of that hardcore base is going to have a hard time that it isn't Robert. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. But so how do you compare what I did to Robert? You kind of can't, because it's one movie versus 2 decades of developing a cultural icon. So for me, I'm just thrilled and honored to get to step in and get to help and get to play this role. I'm perfectly happy with being, you know, second place Freddy. You know what I mean? It's not a competition sport, but it was a blast, and I think Sam did a good job of making this movie.
I wouldn't have even really thought about it because I'm so afraid of these kind of movies and I don't go watch them. But I found out that he was playing Freddy Krueger, and I had just recently seen Watchmen, and I thought he was so brilliant, and I think he's so great, and I really thought if I'm ever going to do a horror movie, this would be a chance to do it with somebody great. And, you know, these guys, the producers, you know, Brad and Andrew are awesome. And so I felt like it would be a really fun way to face my fears.
You know, the movie's very high tension, and it's a difficult movie and a very dark movie. So it's almost, if you're miserable sometimes, it can actually help. Horror movies are very difficult to film in general, because a lot of times you're very tired and they're very physical, so you're all banged up or whatever. It does. It helps. You know, a mood definitely helps you when you're filming. It also helped with filming. You know, it's good to have somebody and have actors who are very like-minded and, you know, will have your back when you're on set and even on and off set. You know, me and Thomas ran lines, and me and Rooney rehearsed, and, you know, it's good to have people like that around. It makes shooting a much more enjoyable experience.
I mean, we just want people to have a lot of fun watching the movie. I mean, we went back to the Wes Craven movie, to the DNA of that film, and I just hope that people can just sit down and enjoy the movie, you know, and have a great time watching it. You know, laugh, get scared, just go on a fun ride and just forget about everything and sit there for 90 minutes.
And be grateful they're not falling asleep with Freddy in their nightmares.
That's right.